JR, and this is Bertha. She's my 1950 Buick Special. It's a two-door sedanette, which is that amazing torpedo back that a lot of the cars in the mid-40s all the way up to the 50s had. I think she looks like Boba Fett's ship from Star Wars, so her other name, Slave One. Yeah, I know it's a 5. Somebody else beat me to it. Shut up. She spent quite a few years out in a field in Kansas when I got a hold of it. The previous owner had done some work to it. There was a $3,800 Fat Man front end that was already welded into it. It was a Mustang 2 with polished A-arms and stuff. It was already set up for air ride. The old straight 8 was removed from the car, and there was a 401 Nailhead in it from like mid-60s Buick, and then an ST400 transmission, which is basically Buick's sister transmission to the turbo hydromatic. The torque tube was already removed, and the rear end was a Ford 9-inch, but it needed a lot of work. It wasn't running. There were no floors, no trunk, no electrical. All the glass was broken. Everything leaked. Since the front was already set up for air ride, we decided to do air ride all the way around. The rear part of the frame needed to be notched so it would clear the axle when it laid out onto the ground. There were no compressors. There were bad airbags in it. No tanks, no valves, no anything basically for any of the suspension in it. It was a shell and a motor, and that was about it. The owners at Avenue Classic in West Palm basically built this entire car for me. They fixed all the air ride stuff. They put new floors in it, new electrical, air conditioning. We're in Florida, so AC is a must around here. I wanted it to look stock at first glance, but there are some subtle hints that it's not your everyday 70-year-old Buick. Like the loud as hell lake pipes that are on the side of the car, basically straight exhaust off the motor, the custom Dagmars off of the front grille, and the fact that when she's parked, she completely lays on the ground. So to that end, basically everything we did to the car is either hidden or stealth. The air tank for the air ride is mounted inside of one of the rear fenders, so there was no additional loss of trunk space. We already lost a little bit when we notched it for the axle. The compressors are mounted on the firewall behind the front fenders. The original thought there was that the sound of the motor would drown out the compressors when they turn on and off, but basically they just shake the shit out of the cab. So we're going to move those to a different spot, or I might switch over to the all-in-one endo tank if I can still fit that inside of the fender, but we'll see where we get with that. While I've owned it, I've been slowly chipping away at the projects that needed to be done. It's been on the road for about 5 or 6 years now, and it's reliable as hell, so now I'm ready to take it to that next level. And I don't mean paint. The paint that's on this car will be on this car as long as I own it. It's the factory original paint. It took 70 years to look like this, and I'm not messing with it. It has so much character. Each little patina spot and dent has a story to it, and I'm not going to mess with it. The only thing that we did was we needed to preserve the paint how it was. So what I did was we did a light scuffing to it and then paint it with a gloss clear coat. We were going to do a matte clear, but I used to get the car wet from time to time, and every time I saw it wet, it made all the colors pop so much, so I wanted to go with that. So as it sits right now, the only thing that's holding it up from being how I want it to be was the interior. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. The big problem was because the paint has so much character, I wanted to play some of those colors into the interior, and I just didn't know what I wanted to do. There's like 5 or 6 different colors going on the outside with all the rust and all the patina and all the green and whatever. So I just didn't know what direction I wanted to go with it. I thought about gold, I thought about white, I thought about shades of green, and I was going to then go to a stock look or maybe just black. You name it, I just couldn't make up my mind what I wanted to do. So for 5 or 6 years, I've just been going back and forth on it. I finally decided on a direction. I was at a leather shop and I came across this really weird green color, and then they had this really nice oxblood red leather, and it hit me. Why not make it look like Boba Fett's helmet? So I know I'm super dorky, but fuck you, it's my car. I'm gonna do what I want. But I did want it to still be subtle. I just wanted to draw upon some of the elements of the helmet and not just hit you in the face, so it still has a very old school hot rod kind of look to it. Went back and forth with my buddy. He's at Design Canopy on Instagram. I handed him the hides and the design, and I said, have at it. So he finished up the front seats, and that got me motivated to do the rest of the interior. Everything just started to click. The next few videos in this build are going to be about the 3 or 4 projects that I have left on the car. We're going to be installing the radio, we're going to be reworking the air conditioning, we're going to be making some new door cards, and then I have a few other things that I've been thinking about as well, and we'll see if we're going to jump into those also. So if you want to follow along with the progress, go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to be posting as often as I can, but a lot of time I'm working on projects concurrently, so depending on if something's holding me up on one project, I may jump onto another one. I may jump between cars. I have like 7 different project cars right now, so I kind of work on whatever's needed at the time, or if I have a wild hair up my ass to go to work on something else. As you can see from my channel description, I'm a tattoo artist and a fine artist also, and that's kind of my full-time job. So I always have like 10 irons in the fire and everything's going on at once. I do really enjoy doing my own work when I can, but I also know when to call in for backup when I need somebody to help me with something. I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. I will talk a great game though, and I really enjoy figuring stuff out. So I'm a bit of a jack of all trades, master of some of them, but I enjoy problem solving and figuring stuff out, making them work. There'll be a bunch of experts, I'm sure, telling me I'm doing stuff wrong. Probably am, but whatever. I'm going to show you how I do it and how I make the mistakes and how I fix the mistakes, and hopefully not too many mistakes. I'm going to get started on the door panels for the next video, so I'll see you there.